This is the Big Hardcore Gamer, and this is a review for Stray, also known as the cat game. Now, it's definitely different from most of the games that I usually play, but I've got to say, I'm actually quite impressed with this one. This review doesn't contain any story spoilers, but you will see some locations from both early and later on in the game. So please watch until the end of this short video and leave it a like if you find it useful. Right, let's get into it. Stray is a third-person cat adventure where you play as a cat that has been separated from its family when it falls into a forgotten cyber city, sealed off from the outside world. You'll make friends with a mini drone named B12 early on in the game, and the two of you will work together to find a way out of the city. The city is populated by both robots that you'll need to interact with for clues and assistance, and Zerks, which are dangerous bugs capable of eating metal robots and the cat. B12 has lost its memory, and you'll find these memories scattered around the city in random locations. Every time you find one of these memories, you get interesting information about what happened to the humans and why the robot city was created, which help develop the story. And you'll also find interesting information about B12. Now, B12 will also translate what the robots are saying, as well as signs around the city. Having B12 as your robot translator was a great idea, but it will also digitize items so that they can be carried around in your inventory. It will also give you a reminder of your objective when you press down on the D-pad and shine a light in the dark when needed. Right, so I've actually made a list of all the things I liked and didn't like about the game. So let's start off with the likes. The most obvious one to start off with is that they really let you behave like a cat in this game. In fact, they encourage it. Get up to as much mischief as you like and be as annoying as you want to be. You can jump up on tables or knock things over just for the hell of it. You'll see a button prompt when next to some objects, so you can't even say that was an accident. Scratching on walls, furniture, carpets, to mark your territory, but in some cases it will get the robots to open doors for you, or to remove paintings to reveal code for a safe. They even let you type gibberish onto computers just by walking over the keyboards. The robots actually have personality, and their emotions are displayed on the screens used for their faces. For example, when you nuzzle up to a robot, you'll see love hearts appear on the screen. At one point, I even saw what appeared to be tears on the screen of one of them, and the tone of the robot chat changed on one to sound like it was crying. You'll see robots getting up to human activities like going clubbing, getting drunk, off motor oil, and playing games like pool. Some of the robots also have their own reasons to help you escape the city, which you'll discover as the story develops. Now, robots will be used for solving some puzzles through a number of ways. Now, one of them that I found was you're able to cause a disturbance to get one to open a door to come out and investigate. Once this happens, you can go in to retrieve an item. Then you'll take that item to another robot to get something else, then take that new item to another robot to complete another task. You'll sometimes go on these chains of events and not realize what the item you collected is for until you actually need to. Then you'll be like, oh yeah, I actually collected that earlier. Traversal is simple but effective. You look at where you want to jump to, and if you can go there, you'll see a button prompt which will let you jump there when pressed. Now, this is because during testing, the developers found that people playing the game were missing paths, so they've put this there to prevent this from happening. Now, you can easily run through gaps which some enemies can't get through. They actually put spikes on ledges to clearly show where you can't go. As I'm finding with more and more PS5 games now, Stray has its own unique use of the DualSense controller features. I usually turn the sound off on the DualSense controller to save battery, and also so I don't get background noise when streaming or recording a Let's Play. Stray is the game where you need to turn the volume all the way up. Every time you meow using the dedicated button, you'll air it through the speakers on the controller. When sleeping, you'll air the cat purr through the controller speakers, and you'll feel it gently vibrate to make it feel like you have a cat in your hands. You'll also feel some resistance in the adaptive triggers when scratching. Unfortunately, there's no haptic feedback when running around, but I guess that's to avoid the controller batteries from running out too quickly when playing. You will also feel vibrations in the controller when one of the Zerks latches onto you, plus subtle things like when travelling on a zipline in an hanging bucket. Speaking of sleeping, when you take a cat nap in most areas, you'll see the camera zoom out slowly with some chilled out music playing. It kind of reminded me of the medication spots in last year's Kenner Bridge of Spirits, and it's very relaxing. Stray doesn't have different difficulty settings for you to choose from when you start the game, and it doesn't need it because it has a nice difficulty balance. It's simple enough for relaxing gameplay for those who just want to chill out and experience a story while behaving like a cat. Saying that though, some of the puzzles are challenging enough. I mean, not too challenging, but they're challenging enough so that the gameplay isn't too easy. It has a decent playtime, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. I completed the game in roughly 5 hours, but I did miss some items and memories which I need to get for the platinum. It doesn't let you continue exploring the city when you complete the game, but you can select certain chapters when starting the game, and it will also tell you how many memories you're missing. Stray is not a full price game. Over here in the UK it's £23.99 on Steam and £24.99 on PlayStation for both the PS4 and PS5 versions of the game, which I think is actually a fair price. Now, if you're a member of either the extra or premium tiers on PS Plus, you'll get this game included in the library as part of the package. Now it's time for the dislikes, and the truth is, there really wasn't much for me to dislike about this game, so you're probably going to think I'm nitpicking with some of these, but here we go. So having the meow button reminder popping up on the screen early in the game after falling into the city where we already have been told how to meow, it was a little annoying until it stopped, that is. I mean, yes, I'm playing as a cat, I know. I don't need reminders to keep doing cute stuff. Okay, no photo mode is actually more of a legitimate one. Now, this isn't actually me nitpicking. I actually really think the game was missing the photo mode. I think that all the games we've had lately with decent photo modes have spoiled us, because now I expect to see it in every console game that I play. I was actually surprised that there wasn't one in this game, and there were so many occasions where I really wanted to take a photo. The graphics are nothing spectacular, but decent enough, and when going through certain areas with nice lighting, I actually kept pressing the menu button to look for the photo mode, because I just couldn't believe that there wasn't one included. So hopefully this is something that they'll add later on. There were a couple of occasions later on in the game as well where the frame rate drastically dropped, but this was only a couple occasions, and I'm sure it's something they'll fix with a patch. So now for the verdict. Stray is a really good game that should be experienced by anyone who loves action adventure games. I knew the game was going to be, popular because of people's love for cats, but I did think it was just hype when I saw people saying that this was the best indie game released this year. In fact, after playing it for an hour, even though I was enjoying it, I really thought that people need to put down that crack pipe, because it wasn't as good as they were saying it was. Basically just thought it was just overhyped. As I got further into the game and found that it actually has a decent and interesting story, which is developed by interacting with the different robots and discovering new memories for B12, as well as simple but fun gameplay, I can understand where they're coming from with this. The story is touching at some points, and I'm going to enjoy watching the gameplay reactions from some of the streamers crying when they get to the end of the story. While this isn't personally my indie game of the year, it's definitely one of my favourite indies I've played this year, and it's more than just a cat simulator where you get to be annoying, even though that behaviour is definitely encouraged. Now, I'm giving Stray an 8 out of 10 and definitely recommending that you go check it out. So that's my review for Stray, and it's also the first review I've done this year, even though we're in July. I'm going to try and do reviews for the smaller games for the rest of the year, and first impressions for the bigger, longer games, as I actually like to complete a game before giving it a full review. If you made it this far, I'm guessing that you found this video useful, so why not help me out by clicking on the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, you should consider subscribing and checking out some other content. Thanks for watching.